All right. Hey, Bubba, thank you for taking some time to join. It's been a while, a couple hours, but congratulations on the victory. We'll get right into questions here for Bubba, and we will kick things off with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Bubba. All the things you ever hear is, oh, he hasn't won, he hasn't won, he hasn't won. Now that you've won, what does it say about you as a race car driver, and what will it say about you as far as having a voice for change?
Yeah, I was one of those people that was telling myself that I haven't won. And it's tough to kind of get out of that mentality. It's like, man, you just want to go out and compete and win. And it just so happened today. And so I know now he's got to win because it rained. Everybody knew it was going to rain. We were able to make a move there to keep us out front, and the caution fell at the right time. So yeah, just appreciate everybody that's been in my camp to help me stay focused on the things that matter and eliminate the BS that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Because it's the moments like this to where I can go back and thank them and appreciate them, because we're here, we're a winner, got some credibility to my name now. But we'll just go out and, we know how the sport works. We go back to work. Oh, everybody's back at work today, race on a Monday, but we go back to work tomorrow and get focused on the Roval.
Blaney said that, what you've had to go through would hurt. The things you hear would hurt anybody, that you're human. How have you dealt with that?
Some sleepless nights, talking to professionals to help me stay focused on the task at hand. Really listening to my family, Amanda being there, pushing me. I go into some of these races and I just have a negative attitude, and, she rips me an ass to, get in shape and to show up with some, positivity. And so I appreciate her. I hate that she couldn't be here. She had to fly back home for work last night, but it's just, my family pushing me and knowing that, as I'm being the realistic, sometimes pessimistic person, they hold the optimism for me and, allow me to keep showing up back to the racetrack with a good mindset.
Have you talked to Amanda or your mom yet?
Yeah, I called them both as we were walking to Victory Lane.
All right, we're going to take our next question from JB Ricks. Go ahead, JB.
Hey, Bubba, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News One. Congratulations, and thank you for taking out this time. You have already been kind of catapulted into an ambassador role when it comes to bridging the gap with the African-American community and NASCAR. And now that you have your first win under your belt, how much do you think that will help bridge that gap even more and make this sport well known for the African-American community?
I'm just going to go out and keep doing what I got to do. I know that sounds like the typical athlete answer, but, for me and people that know me in my camp, I want to just go out and compete and win races and be here talking to you like this. So what allows me to do that is just focusing on the task at hand, which is the race at that time, let everything else settle in place. And that's how I continue to kind of go about it. We'll talk about it post-race, but as it's leading up to it and in the moment, I'm just going out to win races and put on the best show that I can to show like, hey, be a part of the sport. Come, or either be at the track or sit on the couch, have a party, watch it at home, whatever it may be. Just tune in because you never know what can happen. You can be enjoying moments like this.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take our next one from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Bubba, just in the moment you got to talk with your mom, what did you share with her? What has it meant to have this journey with her and to be able to share this experience, even though not in person, but from afar?
Yeah, there's a lot of tears, so it's kind of hard to understand her, but we're both crying on the phone, happy and just excited. She's the number one person that knows how hard I am on myself each and every weekend, each and every day. And she's always sending me positive encouragement, scriptures, and just always holding that positive light. Even though she knows it could be, no good outcome, she's always there for that support system. And love her so much for that. She has started a new life for her. She moved to Atlanta, so she wasn't far away, but she wasn't here at the race. She lives in Atlanta now with her husband, George. So I know they had a lot of people watching back at home. So I just appreciate the support. It's been pretty cool just to see. I've yet to see my phone. I'm sure I got a lot more reaching out.
And certainly anything that you do is of a historic proportion. To do something that hadn't been done since Wendell Scott, from the historical perspective, what is that like? What does that mean? What is that feeling like, along with your personal satisfaction, just accomplishing what you did for yourself? Yeah,
I mean, I'm selfish, and I'm just like, finally, I'm a winner again. It's been 4 years, Michigan truck race. And I'm a winner, and I'm a winner at the cup level. So it's hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then you think about everything else that follows suit with the history being made. And, there's a lot of firsts today within our team, within our organization. And so this is really a huge team effort. I'm so proud of everybody for continuing to just stick with it. It's been a lot of up and down races, a lot of frustration, a lot of shouting matches, but, we always regroup and come back and rally for when the green flag falls on Sunday, or whether it's a Monday like today, and we go out and compete, and we put everything else aside, and we know what we have to focus on. And, we continue to build this organization up. I got Kurt coming over next year. He's one of the drivers that came up during the rain delay there. And, I appreciate him, his optimism, his wisdom. But we just got to keep going. I got to go out to the Roval, my best track, not next week, but just go out and have some fun. This win didn't put us in the playoffs or anything, but there was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I told Claire earlier, if I'm taken out, walking out of this room, hey, I went out as a winner, so I'm good.
And one last thing is certainly the challenge you faced those last few laps. You had Brad Keselowski, one of the best drivers on this type of racing, all over you, making all sorts of moves. How tough were those last few laps, just trying to maintain your position, because it looked like he was throwing haymakers at you?
Yeah, for sure, man. You never count out the Penske cars. And, it's something that we talk about them at our Monday, Tuesday meetings. It's like, hey, those guys make it work. There's a reason why they win the races. And so knowing that we had to defend them, Freddie did a hell of a job on top of the roof. So proud of him. Week in and week out, he's always getting better and pushing me to be better. But we just made the right moves, and it worked out.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take our next one from Jenna Fryer. Go ahead, Jenna.
Hey, Bubba, congratulations.
Thank you.
Apologies, I got a couple questions. TV said this, you didn't say this. They said that Talladega last year was a real low point for you. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say it was a low point. I've had some low points in my life, and that wasn't the same feeling. This was just a hurdle that we needed to climb over.
And so how do you feel when you come to Talladega? Is it just another racetrack to you, or is there lingering issues?
No, for me, it's easy for me to, obviously I still remember, to the day. It's funny. I was sitting in the bus, after they called it, and after they called it yesterday, and I was close to texting Steve Phelps saying, I don't want a phone call, because it was just basically the same thing that happened, rain delay, called the race, going to race on Monday. And it's just like, man, this is, deja vu. But I didn't text him or anything. But, you think about those things when you come to this place. But, for some reason, I had a feeling that we were going to win. This was on Friday. I was like, we're going to go win. Amanda said we were going to win. I had a buddy of mine, Mamba. I told him, I'm going to go out and win. So I got it documented.
Where did you get that confidence from that you were going to win this weekend?
I was sitting there, and, being a part of this 2311 deal, they are so big on preparation, and Denny is big on, leading up to the days before the race, making sure you're doing your homework, doing your debriefs. And I was sitting there reading over our notes and looking at our previous race here in the spring. And I was like, man, our first stage average was pretty damn good. I think we were like 4th on average. And then after that, we were like 15th to 20th, second and third stage. And we ended up, I think, 18th or so. And it made me think about Daytona. We led some races at Daytona in the spring, or even at the 500. We lead some races early on, and then we kind of just survive and get a good finish. And you always talk about the good plate racers. Like, these guys are great at plate racing. The Penske cars, Denny's really good. And, it's like, damn, I'm good at getting good finishes, but I don't consider myself as a good plate racer. And so I was like, let's spice things up. Let's turn it up a notch and try to become a pretty damn good plate racer today.
My last question for you is, as you can expect, as soon as the race was called, social media started lighting up. They said the race was fixed, things like that. I asked Denny about it, and he said that he had encouraged you to get off of social media, and he thought that had helped. Did you get off social media, and how did that help you?
Yeah, I've been off my main pages for a handful of months now, and it's helped out a ton. For me, I would go and read the comments, and after a bad race, I would become one of those haters that doesn't know anything, but I would become one of them and just start telling myself a bunch of dark thoughts, and it never helped anything. So I said for good to get off the main pages there, go out and enjoy life. Don't let people like that. It doesn't matter. I know I learned in high school, I was always worried about what other people thought of me, and I finally let that go once I kind of graduated and kind of matured a little bit more. I'm not going to be able to please everybody, and it doesn't matter if I won by 1,000 laps or won a rain short race. Not everybody is going to be happy with it. And that's okay, because I know one person who is happy, and that's me, because I'm a winner. They're not.
Thanks, Bubba. Make sure Blaney throws you a big party tonight.
Oh, no doubt.
All right. We're going to take our next question from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead, Jordan.
Thanks, Bubba, for your time. As you're standing on pit road and it's raining, what is going through you? What are you feeling?
The realistic side, I was just saying, like, hey, we still got 71 laps left. So if they don't call it, then obviously it wasn't meant to be one like this, but just make sure your ass is there leading that last lap if we do go the full distance. So, you had the cameras there building up the hype, but honestly, I was just like, it ain't over till it's over. So I wasn't too excited.
But then you walk down to your pit crew, you sit on top of the pit box, it's raining still, it's lightning. I mean, it's kind of getting to that point, feel like it's going to be canceled. What are you feeling then? And then the emotion when it hit you that this was official?
Yeah, walking back to the pit box, we were told at Lightning, we're on a Lightning hold now. So I knew that was another 30 minutes. So it was like another notch of the anticipation kind of raised there, but it's still like, all right, there's still some time that we can, get this race in. Well, then it stopped raining. We were on top of the box. Obviously, the jets are going around, and we were sitting there talking on top of the box of just, we just need one rain shower and it'll call it. And then you had so many cool fans behind the box just shouting, rain, it's going to rain, pray for rain. And then you start to see some sprinkles, and it's like, all right, that's a little bit. And then it started getting heavier and heavier. And my spotter, or my engineer, JR, had a NASCAR scanner in his ear, and we'll be sure to post that video. Might have to bleep out a couple words, but you see our reaction on top of the box. He's like, oh, wait, what? And then he's like, they just called it, it's official. So just going from, we're going to go back to racing to, no, we're not, we're winners was like a roller coaster for sure. So really cool.
Last one for me, and you kind of mentioned it, was the fans behind the pit box. They were quite vocal in their support for you. What was that like, that interaction?
No, it's super cool. It's definitely been tough going to the track. Some of these tracks this year, you get some of the most boos now. And obviously, everybody says, as long as they're making noise, that's fine. But, I get booed for different reasons, and that's the tough thing to swallow. So, that's why Beats came on board at the perfect time. So I just block out the BS and turn on some heavy music and enjoy it. So I don't really hear that, but I know it's there. But, standing out there on the grid, waiting on the rain delay, hearing people shout your name, it's like, man, those boos are quiet. You still heard one or two, but you heard a lot of people in your camp pulling for you and supporting you. So I appreciate all those that were there doing the rain dance with us, pulling for us, and just support all career long for me. But especially, everything that's gone on in the last 15, 16 months, the people that have stuck with me and know the real side of things, it's definitely appreciated. So thank you.
All right, we're going to take our next question from Alex Andreev. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Bubba. You may have kind of already answered some of these, but I just wanted to follow up on a couple. But, I saw you talking on the phone on the broadcast afterwards. So I don't know whether you were talking to Amanda or your mom, or if you've spoken to MJ yet. Okay.
I haven't spoken to MJ. I left my phone in the bus before the race. And so I have yet to see my phone, but I'm sure I got 1 or 2 text messages and 1 or 2 phone calls, probably a couple emails. But just excited to get back and celebrate and just be able to just, breathe for a second. I'm enjoying the moment right now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not overworked up. I remember my first win at Martinsville. I was like a kid in a candy store. But this one is just, obviously I think I've matured enough. But just appreciate everybody that is in my camp and in my corner, from fans, family, friends. That means more than the race win, is just knowing that I have that support system. It carries a lot more weight.
And that was actually kind of my follow-up question too, was that there's a lot of people that know what you went through last season, and having that fan support. I was just curious if there was any message, I guess, for fans, especially your younger fans that might be watching you achieve this today.
Yeah, I think, I said there on TV, you're going to go through a lot of BS when you want to stand up for what's right and be yourself and encourage others to do the same. So just be ready for that. Don't let anybody else tell you can't do something that you are so passionate about, and just always stay true to your craft. I support the next generation coming up through. The sport is tough, so I'm going to give it everything I got to keep you from beating me. But if you are passionate about being where you want to be and inside the sport, then be a part of it. Stay true to it. Never give up, and just keep pushing.
Thank you. Congrats.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take our next question from Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Congratulations, Bubba. This is kind of related to what you were talking about with Jenna. I asked Denny about your super speedway racing development, and regardless of how this race ended today with the rain, you obviously were in the mix for the win, as you have been many times in these type of races. But he mentioned that he had really seen a change in how you did these kind of work these races between the Daytona 500 and first Talladega race this year, and then what you did at the second Daytona race and in this race, and how far leaps and bounds he said you had come. I just wondered if you could touch on that a little bit. Do you feel you've changed your approach at all much to these types of races, and how it has worked out for you?
Yeah, I definitely have. And I think, we kind of started a good plate run, even driving the 43 last year. We put together some good races, and I've crashed out a lot, whether it's my fault or not. But we always, like I said earlier, we always seem to get a good finish. We at Daytona a month ago, we were running 13th down the backstretch and looked like we were going to finish there, and they all wadded up and we finished second. And so it's like, that still wasn't a good race for me. It's like I go back and look at, what we could have done different to be inside the top 5. Will we have gotten wrecked? Yeah, but at least we were kind of in contention instead of just riding around 13th. And so I just told Freddie to let's turn the wick up just a little bit. I don't want to change a damn thing that we've been doing, because we've been getting good finishes. That's what it ultimately comes down to, is getting a good finish. Doesn't matter how you get it, but let's get some more respect on the plate tracks and become one of those good plate racers.
And do you feel that your performance on the plate races, obviously a lot of times you have to have good relations. I mean, you need to count on other people around you. Do you feel you've developed a good reputation in how you race, that you can race up front with the other guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think this definitely gives some credibility to my name. I don't know what was on my back bumper my first 3 years in the Cup Series, because everybody was leaving the 43 out to dry, and I'd be going to the front, and then the next thing you know, we'd go to the back because everybody left us hanging. And so I guess whatever that message was, encrypted code on the back, is gone now, because we get some help. And I think we're one of the talked about cars. I feel like our Toyotas are really strong. So everybody back at the shop, 2311 is doing a really good job. Toyota is doing a really good job with what we need at these plate tracks to keep us up front and to become a good plate racer.
Last question. It's been a long time since McDonald's has been in Victory Lane.
Right.
I just wondered what you thought about having the opportunity to bring that long-time NASCAR sponsor back into Victory Lane.
I hope they do more now. I appreciate McDonald's. They've been a part of my career for 2 or 3 years now, even a part of the 43. And so really appreciate them sticking with it, sticking with me, continuing to help me, push myself to be better. And to get them to Victory Lane, I think it's been since the 90s, if I'm correct. It's it's been a long time. So congrats to them. I know I'll be getting a 10-piece meal with a large fry and a large Dr. Pepper when I leave this place.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, we'll take our next one from Alan Cavana. Go ahead, Alan.
Hey, Bubba, congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
I wanted to ask you just the specific moves, because you were talking about, how you got to the front. You threw a huge block on Brad that was very effective, and then you didn't move up and block the 22, which would have got you off the bottom. Just the thought process going through your head, what you were hearing, because those proved to be two very crucial moves and two different decisions on your part.
Yeah, I just trust in what Freddie says. He's telling me where the energy's coming from, whether it's the bottom lane or the middle lane there. And I had seen Brad come down and get behind me, so I knew we had a good pusher, but you never count out the 22. And I seen him coming through the middle, but also seen the 37. I didn't know what car it was at the time, but I seen a car shoot out to the right. So I'm like, hey, we're in position here. The caution's going to come out. We'll be fine. But you just try to do your best at controlling your destiny. And I remember 2011, a driver told me that on the grid at New Hampshire. It was Kyle Busch. He said, control your own destiny. And I didn't know what the hell that meant at the time. But I was just pumped to be talking to Kyle. But it comes down to these plate races. You're controlling your own destiny. There's a lot of teamwork out there that you could go by. And a lot of team orders, but at the end of the day, you're controlling your own destiny. You're trying to do the best that you can for your team, your sponsors, to put yourselves in moments like this.
Hey, congratulations. You got a shout out from Ball Football. So enjoy that.
Heck yeah. How about that big win?
62 points.
Woo! Let's go.
See you, man.
All right. And the next question I'm actually going to read to you from Rob Tiongson. As a graduate of the Drive for Diversity program, how special is it to represent them with this win while inspiring others who are pursuing their dreams in motorsports?
Man, it's really cool. It's ironic. I was sitting in the bus bored last night, played a little bit of PlayStation, and I got bored of that. And I was like, well, what's on TV? Watched a little bit of the football game, Patriots and Buccaneers. But then the ARC Menards race was on from Salem, and I had already knew that Raja had finished third. But I was sitting there watching him. I was like, damn, it's a really good run for him. So I was proud of him. I need to shoot him a message. But it was just ironic how I was watching him, got pumped up for how well he ran there, and then able to win the day. So do I give him some credit for bringing some good mojo? If that makes him feel better, I'll give him some. But man, the diversity program is continuing to shine, and I still continue to say that without that deal back in 2010, 2011, I don't know if I'd be here. I don't know if I would ever been in the top 3 levels of our sport without that deal. So just got to keep on going and continue to watch the talent come up through.
All right, we're going to take our next one from Todd Palmer. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Bubba, congratulations. I was curious, for starters, who did you look up to as a race fan, and what do you think it means to see a black driver in victory lane in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, and not in a negative way, but I didn't look up to anybody. I just found some people that I like cheering for, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to, try to be like them. It's not possible because we're all different, and we all have our own little quirks about us that make us different. And so, I just had people that I respected in the garage and would talk to kind of gain some insight and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you go out and do your own thing, and what do you think's best for you? And so I didn't look up to anybody. We just went to race and have fun, get checker flags, and cash some of those big old checks back in the day, get some trophies, and that was it.
And what do you think it means to have a driver with your background in victory lane?
It means a lot. I think about the next generation that wants to be a part of the sport. I think this gives them a little bit more motivation, a little bit more fuel in the tank. And it's important for that because, we look at our demographic of our sport and we want it to change so desperately. And with everything that's gone on in the last 16 months, we are trending upwards, but we still have a lot of work to do. So I know the biggest work that can be done is on the racetrack, and we were able to accomplish that today.
That leads me to my last question. I in talking to people who've been in a situation like you are, where you're kind of a trailblazer, you're the first of your generation to do something. I've heard that there can be a lot of pressure to be perfect. You feel like you have to do it better. You have less margin for error because you have so many eyeballs on you. Have you felt that? Has any of that ever fed into some of the depression you've talked about in the past? And does today provide a measure of affirmation and or vindication for you?
Oh, absolutely. When you go winless for 4 years, for me, I'm so hard on myself, and I'm always, just pessimistic about, why we ran like this and why we ran like that. And it sends you down a dark path. And so I am my own worst critic. And that's 100% true when people say that. Today I'm like, hell yeah, we got to win. But then I'm like, hey, you only got to win because it rained. So I still can't let myself just enjoy it fully. I think that's why I'm so competitive, because I just continue to push myself. And some people find it annoying and not very helpful, but that's just kind of how I work. I'm very sarcastic. I'm very hard on myself, but I want to win. I want to be competitive. I want to be one of the greats inside the sport. I know there's a lot of work to be done, but it starts with getting your first out of the way, and we were able to do that.
All right, we'll take our next one from Jack Johnson. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, hey, Bubba, congratulations. In the early part of the last decade, you and Kyle Larson were both developmental superstars. Then over the course of the trajectory of your career, his took off a little bit quicker. Then with everything that happened last year and the different trajectories your careers took, from where you were at Talladega at this time last season to the moment that you had today, what do you think about the paths that they've gone together? They've separated, then they've kind of intertwined again, both from the drive from diversity into where you are now, both Cup Series winners.
Yeah, man, I was jealous of Larson back when we raced against each other in the K&N days. He was driving the 6 car, I believe. That's what I was driving, and they won championship. And him and I had a run in at Rockingham. He had blocked me like twice, and I had enough of it, and I shipped him. And they went on to win the championship. But for a long time, him and I, we didn't really talk much, and he thought I hated him, or he may have hated me. I don't know. But we were always super respectful of each other. But then we raced against each other in the truck stuff, beat him at Eldora, beat him at Homestead. And so I've always been a huge fan and I've always said that he was probably the most talented one in our garage, just be able to go from different backgrounds from the dirt world to the asphalt world and continue to dominate. I thought that spoke volumes to his character and his craft. And so it's always been fun to watch him, no matter what he's driving. And so, with everything that went on last year with him, I could have, went a different route, but being able to talk to him and hear the sympathy in his voice and go through all that, I knew deep down he has a good heart. And so to get him back in the sport, he's kicking everybody's tail this year. It was cool to congratulate him for his first win back at Vegas. And it was pretty damn cool. He walked into victory lane here after he had wrecked out or whatever. I don't know where he finished up, but I know he had a rough day, but he took time to come over here and congratulate me for my first win. So that's just the respect level that we have for each other. So it means a lot, and proud of him. Continue to race it on out.
Thanks, Bubba.
All right, we'll take our next one from Courtney Horn. Go ahead, Courtney.
I have 2 questions. And my first is, how does it feel to get your first win at can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. My first is, how does it feel to get your first win at Talladega, your home track?
It's super special with everything that's going on. Just it's fitting that we got our first win here. It's a plate race. One of these